Good evening, and we begin with a break in the case of a Portland man's mysterious death. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. He took his dog out for a hike in Lewis County over the summer. Both were later found dead on the trail. Catherine Cook has a look at why investigators just ruled this a homicide and why friends still have a lot of questions.
We spent a lot of, Thanksgivings and just, different. He was basically, part of my family in a lot of ways.
To friends, Aaron Christensen was so many things. He played the bass guitar and made vinyl records. A real Portland guy.
Very kind man, very generous, just an outdoorsman.
Aaron's buddy, Ezra Meredith, says Aaron loved their annual camping trip with friends and family. This year, the group headed north to Wallop Lake in Lewis County, Washington.
He would go on long hikes, usually, by himself. This year, he was excited because he had a new dog.
That would be little Buzz here. On August 20th, Aaron and Buzz hit the 101 trail for a 13-mile hike. He told his friends he'd be back at camp in time for dinner.
As the day went on, I was just kept on looking at my phone and thinking that he should be showing up at some point.
Eventually, someone from camp saw sheriff's lights flashing in the distance. Hoping for help, they told deputies about Aaron. That's when deputies told them both Aaron and Buzz had been found dead on the trail.
I felt like I'd been kicked in the stomach. It's hard to describe. It's just, he was one of my best friends, and it's really, it's been quite a struggle for all of us.
Ezra says the last 2 months have been unbearable. Rumors and little or no information from investigators.
We feel like it's been a long time.
Finally, on Wednesday, news from the Lewis County Coroner's Office. It showed Aaron's cause of death was homicide, a gunshot wound to the chest.
We want to see justice for our friend Aaron Christensen.
Thursday brought them one step closer to that. The Lewis County Sheriff's Office named 2 suspects in the case, 20-year-old Ethan Osbach and a 17-year-old girl, both from Thurston County. Investigators referred the suspects to prosecutors for charges of first-degree manslaughter and first-degree animal cruelty. Deputies also shared that back in August, a family member of Ethan Osbach had contacted them. They told investigators that Ethan and the girl had been hiking in the area the day Aaron was killed. They say out of fear, they had fired a gun at what they thought was a wild animal.
We're concerned that this is being or attempting to be swept under the rug.
In a statement, the Lewis County Sheriff wrote, "I know there are a lot of friends and family of Mr. Christensen who are eager for answers involving his death. There still continues to be unanswered questions in this case our investigators are diligently trying to address, but yesterday's notice of cause and manner of death has brought us forward to this point of initially referring the charges." For Ezra Meredith, he knows none of it will bring Aaron back.
Everybody's just really rocked down here in Portland. He was loved by so many people.
Lewis County Sheriff's officials tell me the 2 suspects have not been arrested, but they don't think they're a flight risk. The prosecutor's office will now look at evidence in the case. They say no charges have been filed yet. David.
What an absolute tragedy there. Thank you, Catherine. We are just 12 days out from election night, and in the race for Oregon governor, big money and big names are rolling in to try to give candidates a boost, with voting, of course, already underway.
Our Alma McCarty's in the newsroom tonight, and Alma Senator Bernie Sanders, just the latest in the parade to try to stop what was once reliably blue Oregon from turning red.
Well, we've talked a lot about polling ahead of this election and how things appear to be shaking out among the 3 candidates for governor. Recent polls show unaffiliated candidate Betsy Johnson trailing behind Kotek and Drazen. The Republican and the Democrat remain neck and neck.
Another day on the campaign trail, another rally among supporters.
But we've got 12 days to show the nation on Election Day who Oregon is.
On Thursday, Tina Kotek's team brought in Senator Bernie Sanders as Democrats in Oregon and beyond hope to keep the state from flipping red.
We are running against right-wing extremists all over this country who are peddling a big lie, and it's not just Trump, it is hundreds and hundreds of candidates for Congress, Secretary of State, and governor.
Oregon GOP fired back at the senator from Vermont and his visit, calling his policies, quote, dangerous and reckless, and stating that Republicans are, quote, working hard to stop radicals from dictating our way of life and destroying opportunities for Oregon families. Last week, Republican candidate Christine Drazan brought in Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin to win over voters.
Let's go get this done and elect Christine Drazan. God bless you. God bless Oregon.
Meanwhile, Betsy Johnson, the unaffiliated candidate, tweeted out her feelings on bringing in big names earlier this week, writing, while Tina and Christine fly in political celebrities from Washington, D.C. to tell Oregonians how to vote, I'm doing the exact opposite. She promoted she'd be flying to 10 cities across the state in 48 hours.
The concerns of Oregonians are the same regardless of where we were. They want change.
And then there's the money pouring in. Over the past week, Kotek got $500,000 from the Democratic Governors Association, which has now given $6.3 million to her campaign. Drazan also got another $500,000 from the Republican Governors Association, putting their contribution total at over $5.8 million. Additionally, this week, billionaire Phil Knight chipped in another $500,000. He's now given Drazan $1.5 million after he originally supported Johnson. Johnson's most recent contributions have been much smaller, but her campaign finance numbers are being filed later than her opponents, so we only have data up to October 19th.
Now, each of the three candidates has lots of money left over, more than $1 million each, to spend in the last week and a half of the campaign. David?
I mean, easily the most expensive governor's race in Oregon history, now reportedly past the $60 million mark. Thank you, Alma.
Portland's charter reform measure is on the ballot this November.
And even Portland's charter reform measure is getting some big name support. That is actress Jennifer Lawrence. She made this video for the national nonprofit organization Represent Us in favor of the measure. Now, hold on. I know what you're probably wondering here. So here we go. In response, a local coalition called the Partnership of Common Sense Government, they opposed the measure, released a statement saying, quote, while we don't understand Ms. Lawrence's connection to Portland city governance, which apparently is zero, at least we can put a name and face to her position on the issue. Unlike the more than $200,000 to $300,000 of out-of-state money the Yes campaign recently accepted, end quote. Now, this proposal would massively overhaul Portland's commission style of government. An appointed city manager would handle day-to-day operations with the mayor. Council would expand to 12, with 3 council members elected from each of 4 new districts using a system known as ranked choice voting.
Let's follow up now on the mystery surrounding Southwest Washington congressional candidate Joe Kent's day job. We've been telling you about it all week after the Daily Beast published an article saying they couldn't find any record that the company Kent claimed to work for, American Enterprise Solutions, exists. Kent's campaign sent out a statement on Tuesday saying it was essentially a clerical error, that the company changed its name to Advanced Enterprise Solutions. Kent stopped by the KGW studios this afternoon along with his opponent, Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, for a taping of this week's Straight Talk, and I asked him about it.
What do you actually do for the company? Can you tell us what you do?
Yeah, I'm a project manager.
But what do you do, like on a
I
daily basis?
hire subcontractors. I do a good deal of managing how much progress is being made on the tasks that they've been assigned, that we've hired them for. So it's a good deal of working with cellular towers, Wi-Fi construction, those types of issues.
Weren't you working remotely?
I work remotely, but there's actually a corporate
so
office.
So that's
many
my
of our
question. I mean,
too.
when you sign your emails for your work, your actual job, like, isn't the name of the company at the bottom of your email signature?
No.
Well, you said it was AES. I think you said it was.
Everybody calls it AES. I mean, we don't wear uniforms and go into an office.
You can watch the full conversation tomorrow on Straight Talk here at 7 p.m. And we will have an extended version of the conversation with more questions for the candidates on our KGW YouTube channel and podcast platforms.
What a conversation that was. We also have some big news in the race for Portland City Council when a judge dismissed a $77,000 fine that was levied against candidate Renee Gonzalez. You might remember the business lawyer who is running against incumbent Joanne Hardesty was fined by Portland election officials for taking what they called a significant discount on campaign office space. and then not reporting it. Officials consider that an in-kind contribution which violated the terms of a program that is meant to boost the power of small donors. It turns out, in the end, it all came down to a question of what might be considered fair market value for property in downtown Portland. Now, the city's small donor elections program said $6,900 a month, which the property advertised in a retail listing shows that value. Now, keep in mind, Gonzalez paid $250 a month in rent, plus utilities and repairs. Now, in the ruling, Judge Joe Allen said the city did not provide enough evidence that the listed price represented fair market value. He called it a starting point for negotiations in what he called a very weak commercial real estate market. Now, Gonzalez says the damage to his campaign has already been done. The Elections Commission chair does not plan to appeal, but wants to close what they call a loophole.